Hi Spencer.
Hi, thanks for coming.
Ne zamandır Türkiye'desiniz?
Oof, I can hardly even remember, it's been so long. I think I've been here about 12 years maybe even 13 years. Yes.
Neden Türkiye'ye geldiniz?
Actually, I came to Turkey, first of all, just to travel. Turkey's a beautiful country. I wanted to see the different sites, visit Istanbul, go to the different historical places. But to do this I needed money. So I started working at an English course and I found a job in Izmit. So I came to Izmit. And
Türkiye'ye nasıl yerleşmeye karar verdiniz?
well, actually I didn't decide to stay in Turkey. My plan was to finish my contract at the English course that I had been working, and then I was going to continue my travels. I wanted to go to China, actually. I'm interested in Chinese culture. But while I was working in Izmit, I met a young lady and we got to know each other and we decided to get married. So I stayed here.
İzmit'ten sonra neden Gölcük?
Oh, well, that's just a technical issue. My wife, who I married, was already living in Dermandre and she was working with the Minister of Education. So we decided to stay here, and since she had a home in Dermandre, I of course started living with her in her home, and that's how we came to Gölcük.
Gölcük'te neden İngilizce kursu açmaya karar verdiniz?
First of all, I knew that since I was going to stay in Turkey, I couldn't continue working at the English course where I was because it wasn't a good place to work, it wasn't a good place to teach, and I couldn't see myself staying there for many, many years. I knew therefore that I had to open my own English course, and at that time there weren't any other English courses in Gölcük. I thought it was a good opportunity and I opened an English course here.
Neden İngilizce Evi ismini seçtiniz?
It's not the first name I chose actually. My first choice was Canadian Club, because I'm Canadian and Canadian Club sounded nice to me. However, after speaking to some people, particularly my wife, she told me that Canadian Club doesn't have a nice sound to it in Turkish. It doesn't come across very well. So I had to choose a new name, and the building that I had found for the English course was an actual house. So I figured, let it be the English house. And that's why we chose that.
İngilizce Evi ne zaman açıldı?
I opened the English house the same year my daughter was born. So I can answer that quite clearly. In the year 2011, I opened it and the English house grew up as I raised my family.
İlk açtığınızda kimler geldi tercih edin?
I was quite serious on this. When I first opened the English house, I only wanted adult students. I was not interested in teaching children. So I didn't accept children. I had quite a nice adult program. Those were my students.
Fikrinizi neden değiştirdiniz?
Well, of course I didn't know Gölcük very well and I didn't know Turkey very well when I opened the adult program. So most of the people who came here were requesting lessons for their children. And at first I refused. I said I didn't have a children's program, I only had adults. But they continued to come. There was quite a lot of demand for a children's program. So I opened the children's program. But on the first year, it didn't go so well. I didn't have any experience not only teaching children, but managing children. And that's the true art, to manage the children. I couldn't do it. So after about a month of pulling my hair out from going crazy trying to manage these children who wouldn't listen to me, I would say sit down, they wouldn't sit down. I would say stop talking, they wouldn't stop talking. It was as though I wasn't even there. They didn't recognize my authority, in short. So I closed it. But the demand kept coming. So about a year later, I said, oh, okay, I'll try it again. And again I tried to open the course, and again I failed miserably. I could not teach these children English, and I couldn't take money from their parents if I wasn't teaching their children English, so again I closed it. However, the third time it was more of a financial matter. I had an adult program and I had some students, but it wasn't enough money to make a career out of it. So I had to decide, either I close the English house and find another job, or I try with children again. But this time I took it seriously. I researched not just teaching English to children, but more importantly, I researched managing children, how to teach anything to children, how to connect with children, how to relate with children. And I was quite lucky. I came in contact with a British lady who I believe is a child psychologist, and she gave me a lot of advice. She gave me a lot of documents, some books to read, some material to use, just incredible advice. I took her quite seriously. I followed her advice, and with her advice I developed my children's program. And I have to admit, thanks to her, it was incredibly successful.
Peki kaç yıl sürdü bu araştırmalarınız?
It's evolved. The children's program evolved as I learned. Of course, the first thing I researched was how to hold a child's attention, how to get them to want to learn, how to get them to love learning is actually what it was. The main idea is if a child doesn't want to learn, the child won't learn. So the first goal was to find a way to show these children that learning can be fun. And from there, I continued my research. I've never stopped researching. I'm always finding articles, scientific articles about language and children's psychology, and I'm always coming up with new methods, new devices to help the children. And it's probably been 5 or 6 years.
Peki geliştirdiğiniz program başarılı oldu mu?
More than I could have imagined. I knew that I was able to teach these children English, but I was amazed by how quickly these children were capable of learning English. Compared to an adult, the development is unbelievable, even beyond my own expectations. Within a single season, their mind opened up to the English. It was beyond anything I could have dreamed, and it's probably why it gave me such enthusiasm for teaching English to children. And here I am today, teaching English and hopefully helping these children build a beautiful career for themselves.
Teşekkür ederiz diyecek tabii.
Thank you.